Russian President Vladimir Putin has apologized for what he called the tragic incident in Russian airspace, leading to the downing of an Azerbaijani passenger plane. Putin told his Azeri counterpart that Russian air defenses were active before the plane crashed in Kazakhstan, killing 38 people. He stopped short of admitting responsibility. Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky is calling for a thorough investigation, saying there's clear evidence of Russian involvement.
It's the Russian president's first mention of the plane crash in Kazakhstan. Vladimir Putin's remarks follow a video conference with Russia's Security Council.
We will start with the issue of interaction in the Caspian region.
The Kremlin has faced accusations since an Azerbaijan Airlines flight crashed on Wednesday, killing 38 people. With an investigation underway, there's speculation the jet was shot down by a Russian missile. The plane tried to land in the Russian region of Chechnya twice, before flying across the Caspian Sea to Kazakhstan. On its website, the Kremlin has responded to the mounting evidence of outside interference.
Vladimir Putin expressed his apologies in connection with the tragic incident that occurred in Russian airspace, and once again expressed deep and sincere condolences to the families of the victims, wishing a speedy recovery to those injured.
The statement also confirmed that Russian air defense systems were active in countering Ukrainian drones, while the plane was trying to land in the Chechen capital, Grozny. Survivors say they heard loud bangs before the plane crashed.
There were 2 explosions, with a 5-minute difference. After that, we were able to fly for 1 hour or an hour and a half. And after that, the plane started going down.
Putin's apology over the crash stopped short of admitting Russia's responsibility. The gesture may lower tensions with Azerbaijan, but it's unlikely to bring any consolation to the crash victims' grieving loved ones.
I am now joined by Andreas Speth. He's an aviation journalist based in Hamburg. Andreas, again, President Putin stopped short of admitting responsibility, but he's certainly not denying it either. Give us some perspective. Is this the sort of thing the flight data recorders will make abundantly clear one way or the other?
This is definitely called by experts a non-apology by Vladimir Putin. So in a way, it's very telling that he even talks about this publicly now after 3 days' time. And honestly, I doubt that the flight data recorders will actually shed some light on who shot on what, in which purpose in this case. I mean, it's obvious, and I said so on the very first day I was talking about this, that there was some external influence here, and these shrapnels hit this aircraft, and it's obvious that there was apparently Russian interference here, and it was not aimed at this aircraft, obviously, because the aircraft still flew for 74 minutes after the actual impact of these shrapnels hit the aircraft that we clearly see on the video. The good thing is, as we see, the tail is intact, almost totally intact of this crashed aircraft. That's where the flight data recorders are located. So I assume they are totally undamaged and can easily be read out. So we will have all the data, but this data will probably not tell us much more than we already know, because there has been an explosion nearby. It was not the aircraft being hit, but there was an explosion nearby, so it was not actually a shooting down. But still, the recorders will not tell us who was firing at whom and what kind of weapon it was. So I doubt that this will actually shed light on the actually question who was at fault here.
Well, it's clearly a puzzle here, and we're trying to put all the pieces together. When you put those pieces of the puzzle together, you have something that approximates some kind of narration. Remind us how long it takes investigators to retrieve the information from those recorders, for the public to hear what's in it, and then also the extent to which it will tell us anything.
In this case, my hope is, first, as I already said, that everything is intact technically, so that should be fairly easy. There's a microchip in this data recorder that actually captures all the data. And the good question that I have not been seeing answered yet is who and which country, which authority will actually work on this flight data recorder to extract the data. I assume it will be done in a neutral country, which will be outside the region, because this aircraft was built in Brazil. I think that the actual recorders were US or Western fabricates here. So it depends on whom the Kazakh authorities, which are in charge here as the aircraft crashed on Kazakh territory, will actually task with retrieving these data. So that's a good question, because I think everybody, especially Azerbaijan, will be keen to do this outside the Russian sphere of influence. And that probably is a very important and crucial point and factor in this, how much transparency we will see in all this. But altogether, as you rightly ask, this kind of process of kind of pinpointing and kind of scientifically even vouch for the whole process and kind of get all the pieces and facts together can take months, even years at times. So I doubt there will be any quick results being released by anybody.
Only have half a minute, sir, but I do want to quickly ask you, several airlines have suspended flights to parts of Russia. Is this the kind of response you'd expect?
Yes, in a way it is, because actually it's not totally clear yet if actually the airport of Grozny was even open at that time of day, because there were apparently some warnings in place. I'm not totally sure if this Azerbaijani aircraft was knowing about this warning and this notification before, but I think it's a logical consequence at first to kind of keep clear of this area for the time being.
Our thanks to aviation journalist Andreas Spate. Appreciate your insights, sir.
Thank you.